Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech. We have an absolutely packed week to talk about. We're talking huge fines for tech giants, a secret government database that's kind of terrifying, AI that wants to be your personal assistant, and a phone with a screen on the back? Yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, so here's what's on deck. First, we'll look at the massive price tags some big tech companies are facing. Then we'll dive into the non-stop world of AI. After that, we'll check out some new hardware you might be upgrading to soon. And to wrap it all up, we're going to peek into the future with some mind-blowing new tech.
All right, let's kick things off with the rising cost of doing business in the tech world. It seems like the bill finally came due for a few major players this week, with stories involving regulators, national security, and some dramas that are finally coming to an end.
Let's just start with this number, $2.5 billion. Yeah, you heard that right. That is the absolutely jaw-dropping amount Amazon is paying to settle a huge lawsuit with the Federal Trade Commission. So what in the world do they do to get slapped with a fine that big?
It all comes down to Amazon Prime. The FTC basically said Amazon used dark patterns, which is just a fancy way of saying sneaky, deceptive designs, to trick millions of people into signing up. And then, once you were in, they allegedly made it an absolute nightmare to cancel. The FTC even called it a Homeric odyssey, which is, not exactly a compliment for your user interface.
So where's all that money going? Well, it's not just a slap on the wrist. $1 billion is going towards civil penalties, sure. But the bigger slice of the pie, $1.5 billion, is set aside for direct customer refunds. So, hey, if you've had a tough time trying to cancel Prime any time since 2019, you might be getting some money back. All right, shifting gears now from big fines to something that sounds like it was ripped straight out of a spy movie. This week, a pretty shocking report dropped from the Homeland Security Committee, and it's raising all kinds of alarms about a top-secret government project.
And what's in this secret database? Just a live cloud copy of every single United States citizen's Social Security information. This whole thing was created by a pretty controversial agency called the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE for short.
And when you dig into the report, it gets even crazier. An internal assessment found there was up to a 65% chance of a catastrophic breach. And catastrophic here means a scenario where they might have to reissue every single Social Security number in the entire country. The project was so hush-hush that some of the workspaces were apparently protected by armed guards totally shielding them from any oversight. Just wow.
And to wrap up this section, the whole TikTok drama seems to have an ending. For now, anyway. After a 2020 executive order, a new deal structure has been approved. A new joint company is going to run the U.S. operations. The original owner, ByteDance, gets to keep a small 20% stake, and the big player here is the U.S. tech company Oracle, which is going to step in to handle all the data storage and security.
Okay, so while governments and regulators are scrambling to play catch-up, the world of artificial intelligence is just moving at light speed. Honestly, calling it a wave doesn't feel like enough anymore. It's more like a tsunami, and it's reshaping everything from our morning routines to the very idea of what it means to be creative.
So, picture this. You wake up, and instead of just doom scrolling through a bunch of notifications, your AI assistant gives you a personalized briefing. It tells you everything you need to know to get a jump on your day. Well, that's exactly the vision behind OpenAI's newest feature.
It's called ChatGPT Pulse. Basically, it taps into your chat history, your email, and your calendar to cook up a daily digest just for you. This is a really big deal because it's part of this larger industry push towards what's called agentic AI. That's AI that doesn't just answer your questions, but actually does things for you, sometimes without you even asking.
Meanwhile, over at Google, they're making photo editing feel like actual magic with a new tool they've nicknamed Nano Banana. The way it works is super simple. You can use it in AI Studio or even Photoshop. You just upload a photo and then literally describe the changes you want to make. The key, though, is being specific. The more detail you give it, the better the result.
But here's the big looming problem with all this amazing creative AI. On one hand, you have tools like Suno V5 that can generate a whole incredible song from just a simple text prompt. It's amazing. But on the other hand, how did the AI learn to do that? And that question is sparking some massive legal fights over copyright.
And just this week, we saw a huge development on that front. The AI company Anthropic agreed to a $1.5 billion settlement with a group of authors. The lawsuit claimed that Anthropic basically committed piracy by using illegal shadow libraries to get copyrighted books to train its AI models. This case is a really big deal because it's one of the first to put a real price tag on this issue.
setting a benchmark for future disputes.
All right, enough with the software and lawsuits for a minute. Let's talk about actual stuff, the physical devices we use every day. It's time to talk hardware, and some of the upgrades you're going to want to know about.
Okay, so listen up if you're still running Windows 10, because the clock is officially ticking. Support ends in October of 2025, and it's probably time to upgrade anyway. Windows 11 is a serious step up. If you use multiple monitors, it actually remembers where your windows are. The snap layouts for organizing your screen are way better, AI is built right in with Copilot+, and for gamers, stuff like direct storage just works better.
Now for something that's just out there. For years, the basic smartphone design has been pretty simple, right? It's a screen on the front. That's it. Well, what if you just slapped another screen on the back?
Xiaomi's new 17 Pro Max does exactly that. And it sounds a little nuts, but when you think about it, it's kind of brilliant. You can use that back screen as a viewfinder to take amazing quality selfies with the main camera. You can check notifications. You can even play games on it. It's a super wild idea, and it's all backed by a gigantic battery to power both of those screens.
And for our last section, let's zoom out a bit. Let's look beyond the stuff you can buy today and toward the breakthroughs that are really going to shape the technology of tomorrow, from how we use our computers to, well, how we see the universe.
You know, for what feels like forever, we've been hearing that VR and AR are the next big thing that never quite arrives. Well, that might finally be changing. According to Google's senior VP, Rick Osterloh, the time is now. All the pieces, the powerful chips, the advanced AI are finally in place. And the numbers don't lie. Sales for Meta's Ray-Ban smart glasses are up 12 times over last year. Things are starting to happen. So all this powerful AI we've been talking about, it generates an insane amount of heat. Cooling these chips is one of the biggest challenges in tech right now. But Microsoft might have just cracked it with something called microfluidic cooling. They're literally etching tiny channels about the width of a human hair right into the chips themselves and pumping liquid coolant through them. It's up to 3 times more effective than current methods, and it's essential for building the next generation of AI. And finally, let's go from the tiniest computer chips to, well, the entire cosmos. The James Webb Space Telescope has, yet again, completely changed how we see the universe. It pointed its lens at what astronomers thought was a pretty dark, quiet, empty part of our galaxy, and it turns out it's not empty at all. Those dark patches are actually clouds of gas and dust so incredibly dense that not even Webb's powerful infrared vision can see what's inside. They are stellar nurseries, cocoons, hiding stars that haven't even been born yet. And it just makes you wonder, right? What other profound secrets are out there, hiding in plain sight, just waiting for us to build the right eyes to see them? If you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.